I don't want to act like I don't know anything, because you don't get to be this age and haven't learned something. All right, my plane ride out here, y'all got to help me. Because here's the weird thing as a comic, you don't know if something's funny or not until you try it out on somebody. So I was thinking there's got to be some things you do know. So I'm going to call these the facts of life. Has nothing to do with sex, just things you know. Facts. All right, here's a fact of life. If you want the phone to ring, sit on the toilet. My phone won't ring all day long. I sit on the toilet and starts, and then you got your pants around your ankle. And you never make it in time, you check caller ID, it's a toll-free number. All right, here's another one. Here's a fact of life. If you are trying to get to the bathroom in an emergency situation, unbuttoning your pants in an effort to save time is not a good idea. Because the muscles that guard the floodgates take that unbuttoning as a sign to abandon their post. And the 4 seconds you saved unbuttoning are nullified by the hour and a half you spend mopping and doing a load of laundry. Oh, 2 for 2, I'm so happy. Fact of life, the insanity of the person driving the car is directly proportional to the number of bumper stickers on the back of the car. Am I right? Doesn't matter left wing, right wing. When you pull up behind a car with 25 bumper stickers, you're like, somebody's avoiding them at the family reunion, I guarantee you. Fact of life, the more kids you have, the worse your parenting becomes. People with 1 kid are making homemade baby food out of organic vegetables they grew in their own garden. By the time the 4th kid comes along, you're drinking a beer while you watch your toddler pull a milk dud out from under the stove and eat it. Fact of life, the length of a woman's nightgown is directly proportional to the length of her husband's nose hairs. We're a little iffy over there. Fact of life, if you agree to follow somebody in your car going somewhere you have no idea where you're going, that person will run every yellow light and change lanes like somebody on the world's scariest police chases. It could be your 80-year-old uncle. When you agree to follow him from the church to the reception, he suddenly becomes the Dukes of Hazzard. He's like jumping creeks and turning corners on 2 wheels. All right, fact of life. Hopefully this is, I just think if my family does it, we're not the only ones, so we'll find out. Fact of life, everybody on the planet, no matter where you live, no matter how much money you got, everybody has a junk drawer in their house. Okay, I've never been to your house. Let me see how close I come. Within that drawer, there are an assortment of screws and paper clips, 6 rubber bands, 2 marbles, 5 AA batteries you don't know if they're good or bad, 10 pizza coupons, all of which have expired, a broken garage door opener, 2 packets of soy sauce, some cough drops, a tube of glue Superman could not get the top off of, and 1 lens from a pair of sunglasses. Good, okay? All right, here we go. 37 cents in change, including a nickel with a hole in it, 3 birthday candles, a checkbook from a bank you used 10 years ago, a combination lock that is locked and you do not know the combination to it, 7 keys that go to God knows what, the light bulb from a flashlight, 6 business cards from people you don't remember meeting, a picture of somebody's gap-toothed kid in a cap and gown, 1 shoestring, directions to a coffee maker you no longer own, a bullet, a keychain your kid made that was too ugly to actually use, 3 Tic Tacs, a piece of string, and a dead roach laying on its back with its feet in the air. that pretty close? And there's always like one of those stubby screwdrivers with paint on the end of it too, that you could use if you remembered it was in there, but you never did. All right, here's the last one. Fact of life. Everybody over 50 thinks the world is going to hell in a handbasket. And it's our own fault. Because, and we didn't start out to do this, but we may go down in history as the worst generation of parents to ever live. It's because we have hovered over our kids so much, we've left them incapable of doing stuff. I'm telling you. And my daughters, they get upset with me. They're like, Dad, don't go on stage and tell people things you don't know. They're like, if you don't know something, Google it. And that's, you know, that's the age they're growing up in. And to a point, they're right. I mean, when I was growing up, if you were watching TV and somebody said, what was that guy in? You'd go, man, he looks familiar. And that was it. Now you watch TV, somebody goes, what was that guy in? Somebody takes their phone and goes, he was the janitor on Joey. But I'm trying to explain to my kids, I said, yes, there's a ton of things you can Google, but you don't know yet. There's a ton of things you can't Google. There's things you only learn through life experience. I call them the facts of life, things you can't learn on Google. Like, fact of life. If you are trying to get to the bathroom in an emergency situation, it is not a wise idea to unbutton your pants in transit in the effort to save a couple of seconds, because the muscles that guard the floodgates will interpret the unbuttoning as the signal to abandon their post, and the 2 seconds you saved on the button are nullified by the hour and a half you spend mopping and doing laundry. Google won't tell you that. Fact of life. Out of all of the cereals, Captain Crunch is the most time intensive. You're like, Jeff, what are you talking about? This is it. You eat it too soon after you've poured the milk on, and you will rip the roof of your mouth to shreds. You wait too long after you poured the milk on, and the captain will put a film on your teeth a wire brush can't get rid of. Google won't tell you that. Fact of life. You can have a wife with long, beautiful hair, or you can be on time. Speaking of wives, fact of life. If your wife hints that she might be in the mood, your kids will sense it and won't go to bed for 3 years. Speaking of kids, fact of life. The more kids you have, the worse your parenting becomes. People that only have one child are making homemade baby food out of organic vegetables they're growing in their own backyard. You know, by the time that fourth child rolls around, you're smoking a cigarette while you watch your toddler pull a year-old milk dud out from under the stove and eat it. Pick the cat hair off of it before you put it in your mouth, dummy. And kids are great for a comedian because kids are funny without even trying to be funny. My wife and my mother-in-law had ordered bathing suits through the mail order, yeah. So the bathing suits arrived. They're trying them on. My mother-in-law walks out in her bathing suit. My youngest daughter looked at her and said, Gamma, you shouldn't draw on your legs with a blue magic marker. Needless to say, I had to mop up the milk I had been drinking because it was on the other side of the room, which is pretty good distance through your nose. That's gonna sting a little while. But in conclusion, let me share one comedy road story with you
about me. So COVID started in 20, right? 2020. So the summer of 2019, Larry, the cable guy, and I were doing a bunch of dates together that summer. And when you do summer dates, they're almost all outside. You're either doing amphitheaters or country music festivals or, fairs. You're always outside, and you get used to being hot. We did a music festival in Phoenix. It was 112 when we went on stage. And the promoter was trying to make us feel better. He goes, "Come on, fellas, it's a dry heat." I said, "So is the electric chair. It's 112 degrees, so." But I don't sweat very much. I mean, you can say I don't sweat when I'm up here. And so we do this show one night in the South. I'm not even going to say the name of the city because there may be a computer genius here that can get the footage of this. But we did a show one night, and it was not only hot, it was humid as rip. So 10 minutes in the show, I got sweat dripping off my nose onto the stage. 20 minutes in, looks like a wet t-shirt contest. By the end of it, I look like I've been sprayed with a fire hose. I've never sweated this much in my life. And we usually don't eat before a show because it makes you feel kind of sluggish, so we're always hungry, when we get off stage. So I get off stage that night, and I'm in the dressing room, and I'm just pounding Gatorade and water trying to rehydrate. And I hear Larry, the cable guy, coming down the hall, and he slides into my dressing room. He's like, "Hey, let's go eat." And Larry says this a lot. And I usually go because it's fun to watch Larry eat. It's impressive. But I said, "Dude," I said, "not tonight." I said, "I got too hot. I'm not hungry." I said, "I'm just going back to the hotel and going to bed." He's like, "Yeah, right. Come on, let's go eat." I said, "No, I'm not hungry. I got too hot. I'm not kidding with you." He goes, "Are you serious?" He goes, "I cannot wait till you ask me to do something for you." What are you, 9 years old? It's not personal. I got too hot. I'm not hungry. So I got in the van. I got them to take me back to the hotel and got in my room. And probably a lot of y'all make your living on the road. You have your little routine. When I'm on the road, I like it really dark when I sleep. I like it really cold, so I'll turn the thermostat down. But when you're doing stand-up, you're in a different city every night. Every hotel room is different than the day before. So one of my tricks is I always turn the light on in the bathroom, and I'll shut the door. But that way, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to go, I can see that light. I know that kind of orients me, and I know where I am. And I usually sleep in my underwear, but this night they're wet. My socks are wet. I've sweated that much, and I'm like, I'm not sleeping in wet underwear, and I told you I only packed 3 pairs, so I just peel them off, and I flop in the bed naked, and I'm out. Well, I wake up about 1:30 in the morning, and I really, really have to pee, probably from all the Gatorade and the water. And any guy over 40 knows what I'm talking about. You have to pee too much to go back to sleep. You can't go back to sleep, but you don't really want to wake up. You just want to get it done and get back in the bed. So I get up and got my eyes half open. I see the light, and I walk in there. Well, as soon as the door closes, I realize I'm in the hall of a really nice hotel without a stitch of clothes on. And you want to wake up in a hurry, forget coffee. This is the way to do it right here. So I'm trying to think through it. Well, Larry's room was right across the hall from mine. And I'm thinking, thank God, I run over there and I'm knocking on the door, and he's not answering, and I can picture him peeking through the keyhole and laughing. But as I'm knocking on the door, I hear the elevator ding. And I'm like, okay, well, I got a 50-50 shot. They're either going to get off and go the other way, or they're going to get off and come towards me. And sure enough, these 2 Korean guys, they're talking with each other. They get off and they start walking right towards me. And I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? And I'm like, you act like nothing's up. That's what you do. So I start walking towards them. Literally past them in the hall. Hey, how you doing? And one of them said something, which I really hoped meant, wow, that was impressive. But when I looked it up on Translator, I found out it meant, did you see her mustache? So I know I can't get on the elevator. I know elevators have security cameras, and I'm thinking, where do I go? Well, at the end of the hall, they had that exit, for the stairwell, and I'm like, at least get out of the lighted hallway. So I jog down the rest of the hall, and I get in the stairwell, hoping there'll be like a trash can in there where I can take the trash bag out and wear it like over all of it. Get in the stairwell, no trash can, but at least I'm not in the lighted hallway. And as I'm trying to think through it, I noticed there's a couple of empty beer cans down in the corner. Well, the reason I got up in the first place was I had to pee. I have no idea how long I'm going to be locked out of my room, and I'm not proud of it, but I picked those cans up and I peed in them and I put them back. I felt horrible about it, but it was old Milwaukee, and I figure whoever cleans them up will go, yeah, that's old Milwaukee, all right. But it was a really nice hotel, and they had 24-hour room service. So my thought was, well, maybe somebody's left their room service tray outside their room, and I can get that big cloth napkin and wear it like a diaper, So I'm going down the stairwell, and every floor I'm opening the door and looking down the hall for a tray. And I get about 3 or 4 floors down. I hadn't found a tray yet, but somebody's left a couple of pizza boxes outside their room. Well, to me, it looks like a folded tuxedo sitting there. So I run down there, I get the pizza boxes, and I bring them back, and I go down the last 3 or 4 floors and never do find a room service tray. But by now, it's really late. It's like 2 in the morning, and I get to lobby level. Well, I can crack the door, and I can see almost the entire lobby. I don't see a soul. I don't hear anybody talking. I'm thinking, all you got to do is be brave for 20 seconds. I put 1 pizza box in the front, 1 in the back. Walk up to the desk, lady's working there. As I go up, she looks up and she goes, "Can I help you?" "Yes, you can." I said, "I have accidentally locked myself out of my room. Can I just get another key so I can get back in?" She goes, do you have any identification?" I said, "I do, but it's in my other pizza box." I'm like, "No, I locked myself out of my room. I got nothing." And she says, I need to talk to a manager. And she goes behind the wall, and I'm thinking, she's not calling a manager, she's calling the cops. But it's 2 in the morning, I'm naked with a pizza box in front of my junk. Where am I going to go? So they had a bellhop stand, like a podium, and I got behind that, and I'm just waiting on her. Well, as I'm waiting, all of a sudden the front doors to the hotel open up, and in walks Larry the Cable Guy and our tour manager. And I'm like, "Thank you, God. Here's answered prayer." So they walk across the lobby. Again, I'm naked holding a pizza box. Larry does not say, "Oh my gosh, buddy, what happened to you?" He looked at me. He looked at the pizza box. He goes, "I thought you said you wasn't hungry." Just been sitting down here naked eating pepperoni in the lobby, I said, "I locked myself out of my room." Well, about that time, here comes the front desk lady back, and now she's got a security guard with her. I said, "Larry, I need you to do me a giant favor." I said, "Tell her who I am so I can get a key and get back in my room." And he looked at me. He looked at her. He goes, "I have never seen him before in my entire life." And he got on the elevator and rode up. Thankfully, the security guard started laughing. He recognized both of us. He was one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. He got the magic key. He rode up the elevator with me and the pizza boxes, and we went down the hall. He let me in my room. I said, "Wait here." I went in and got my wallet. I gave him a $100 bill. I said, "Thank you so much. Please never tell anybody about this." And now I'm telling y'all for free. But I got back in my room, I put my sweatpants on, put a t-shirt on, made sure I had that room key in my pocket, and I waited about 10 minutes, and I walked back across the hall. I knock on Larry's door. He opens the door, he's still laughing. He's like, he goes, "I told you I couldn't wait until you asked me to do something for you." I said, "All right, you got me." I said, "Are we even?" He's like, "Yeah, we're even." I said, "Well, just to prove I don't have any hard feelings, I went and got you a beer." Thanks, y'all. God bless you. Thank you for being here. Fact of life, you do not want a kidney stone. You may want to paint your butt cheeks in honey and sit in a fire ant bed, but you do not want a kidney stone. How many people here have had a kidney stone? Oh, wow. All right, here's how I know you don't want one. A couple years ago, I was getting new tires put on my truck. They've already put the tires on. I'm actually inside at the counter about to pay for them. I feel fine. Out of nowhere, it felt like I got hit in the back with a bolt of lightning. I made a noise. I was like, ah! I didn't say it was a masculine noise. It was a noise. About 10 seconds later, it hit me again. And Dwayne, the guy that was ringing me up, he looked at me and he said, and I quote, he goes, "Hey, I ain't no doctor," which caught me off guard. It did. Because I assumed he was, and he didn't like wearing the stethoscope while he was changing tires. He goes, "I ain't no doctor, but I think you got a kidney stone because my brother had one and that's what he acted like." And it wasn't that I didn't trust Dwayne's diagnosis. But I got to thinking, you know, Jeff, you have a little money. Why not get a second opinion? So I have a friend that's a urologist, and I called him. I said, "Dude, I think I might have a kidney stone." He said, "Well, come in, we'll take an x-ray." And I did, and they took the x-ray, and he comes out. He thinks he's a comedian. He's like, "Well, I got good news and bad news." He said, "Good news is you don't have a kidney stone. The bad news is you have 5 of them, and one of them is huge." And he proceeded to give me an anatomy lesson. Apparently, kidney stones form inside the kidneys, but when they're in the kidney, you don't know you have it. Doesn't hurt. It's only when it leaves the kidneys and goes down a tiny tube called the ureter down to the bladder that it hurts. And for people that have never had one, they need to rename them, because when y'all hear stone, you're thinking smooth river rock, gently tumbling down the stream. This is not, a kidney stone has got hooks and spikes and claws. So in a big one, he told me it can be 6 or 7 times wider than the tube. So when it moves, every time it moves, it is cutting and ripping through muscles and nerves and blood vessels. He said passing a big one was the equivalent of a woman giving birth without even an aspirin. So are there women in here tonight? Raise your hand if you've done both. You've had a kidney stone and a baby. Oh, several. Which one was the pain worse? Kidney stone. Kidney stone. Anybody else? Kidney stone. Anybody? Kidney stone. Anybody else? Baby or kidney stone? Which one was the pain worse? Kidney stone. Nobody says the baby? Oh, no, this lady does. She said the baby. Okay, as defense attorney for the kidney stone, this would be my argument. A year or 2 after having a baby, a woman will say, "You know what? I am about ready to have another child." You never hear someone go, "Well, I'm about through crying and puking. I think I'll drink a case of Coca-Cola and see if I can't work up another kidney stone." I mean, the point is, it's horrible pain. And when the doctor saw the big one, he immediately started writing me a prescription for Percocet. And I said, "Dude, I don't take aspirin. There's no chance I'm going to take a Percocet." That thing started moving. I'm eating Percocet like they are peanut M&Ms. I went from being Dr. Oz to Keith Richards in about 3 seconds. And one night the pain was so bad the Percocet didn't make a dent in it. And I looked at my wife and said, "You got to take me to the hospital. I feel like I'm dying." And if you ever go to the hospital with a kidney stone, Jeff told you up front, they're going to laugh at you. They do. They think it's a big joke. She pulls into the little circle of the emergency room. I got out. She went to park. I walk in. The lady's at the desk. She said, "What's wrong, hon?" I said, "I have a kidney stone." She goes, She said, "You're going to be waiting a long time tonight, baby." I said, "No, ma'am, I cannot wait a long time." I said, "This is the worst pain I've ever been in my life." She said, "Well, you just feel like you're going to die, but you're not." And she handed me the clipboard and shooed me. And I go into the waiting area. I sit down next to a man that has a knife in his head. The guy has got a knife stuck in his head. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, "Were you in a fight?" He said, "No, I have a kidney stone. I did this to myself trying to get to the back there." And sometimes when this stone would move, when it settled in such a way that it would block the urine stream. And then all of a sudden that tiny tube ballooned up, and it was the weirdest feeling because you felt like you were going to wet your pants. But when you tried to go, oh my word, did it hurt. And y'all, this went on for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I passed the 4 smaller stones, but that big one was moving like every day, and they're like, "Give it a chance." And it, man, when it moved, it would put me on my knees, and then it would block the urine, and I'd have tears rolling down my face. And I thought, I am going to lose my mind. And then all of a sudden I hit 4 days where I felt great. And I was thinking, well, did it dissolve? Or I didn't see it. Maybe it just, went away. And I went back to the doctor. They took another x-ray. Well, that big stone had lodged right at a bend in the ureter, right next to the bladder. But because it had lodged, it wasn't moving, so it didn't hurt. And it wasn't blocking the urine. And I'm like, let's leave it there till the Lord comes back, But the doctor, he's looking at the x-ray. He goes, "Yeah, I don't like where that's at." He said, "I'll give you about a week to pass it. And if you don't, we'll have to go get it." I have a question. When you say go get it, what kind of trip are we talking about there? He said, "Well, we've got this flexible metal cord that's got a retractable claw at the end of it." He said, "What we do is we'll run the cord up your exit only ramp through your bladder." He said, "We'll find that stone, we'll grab it, and we'll drag it out kicking and screaming." He said, "Once we get it out, we'll put a stent in the claw, go right back in a second time, and insert this stent into the walls of the ureter, which by now, quite honestly, have lost the will to live." He said, "We'll leave it in there for a week or two. We go back in a third time, we grab the stent, and we just yank it out." And I am thinking, since they outlawed waterboarding, this is what they are doing to get terrorists to talk. So where's bin Laden? They do not know. Oh, you don't know. All right, well, we're going to get the flexible cord and see if we can find a kidney stone. He is living in a white house on the corner in Pakistan. The gate code is, yeah. You will find him upstairs, last bedroom on the right. I am telling you, the idea of 3 trips with the claw scared the willy out of me. I said, I'm not doing that. So I read online, maybe they said cranberry juice will help you pass one. I'm guzzling cranberry juice. I'm jumping on the trampoline. I am doing anything I can think of to dislodge this thing, and it must have worked. Because a couple of nights later, my wife and I are watching television. At one point, I got up to go to the restroom. Right in the middle of going, I had just like a split-second little knee-buckling, sharp pain. I was like, whoo! Yeah, I look down, and there is this gray, spiky BB rolling down the inside of the toilet towards the hole. My mother always says, "Jeff, you don't have to tell everything." Like, there's good money in it, Mother, trust me. And it's good. And y'all, I am not proud of this. But when I saw that thing about to disappear down the hole, after 6 weeks, I wanted it. And it was not a conscious thought. I stuck my arm in there, I grabbed it, and I pulled it out. Wiped my arm on my pants, zipped them up, I marched down the hall into the living room. I went to the mantle. I took down my People's Choice Award and I put it right up there in the track lighting. Thank you. I really have nothing left to talk about. I was backstage watching the guy before me, and my act's kind of down the toilet at this point. Oh, they're free shorts right there. The guy's looking at them like, hey, these might fit. And it's, hi, how you doing tonight? Let me start off by telling you, this is my real voice. You're not having a hee-haw flashback. This is the way I really talk. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I don't live there now. I moved to LA a couple of years ago, and I never thought I would leave the South, but I started doing a little TV and getting on the air, and then my kinfolk said, Jeff, move away from there. And I can't believe you laughed at that, honestly. What can I tell you is going on with me? I just found out 2 months ago I'm going to be a father for the first time. I'm really excited about that. Thank you. When my wife finds out, she's going to kick my ass, I swear. Now, she knows, believe me, she is going through some physical changes. Now, she is wearing the bra from a Camaro now, you know? Not just for the support, but it keeps the bugs off her blouse. I've been married about 6 years. I love my wife to death. I like women a lot, and I don't know a whole lot about you girls. I seem to know little things. Things like I know if you give a woman a little basket of seashells, they're going to put them on the back of the toilet. I do know that. I don't know why, but that's where they go. They go on the back of the toilet. You never see a toilet on the beach, but you will see a beach on the toilet. And if they don't have real seashells, they buy the fake soap ones, but you're not supposed to wash your hands with them. This past January, I drove cross country with my wife. I learned something on that trip. A woman's job on a long trip in the car is to sleep and control the heat and air conditioning. Every time I try to sneak the window down, she wakes up and goes, roll that up, I'm cold. It's like, why don't you hold a pan of muffins so we'll have something to eat when we get there? 5 days I hardly saw her. She was buried under all these jackets and blankets. Once a day I'd hear her voice, where are we? We're in hell. That's where we are. We're in hell. Just crossed the river Styx 2 miles ago. Now, the only fun I had on the whole trip was knowing everybody that passed our car on the right-hand side was laughing their ass off at her doing that open-mouth jello neck head bob. They're laughing at you and you don't even know it. And don't get me wrong, you need a woman on a long trip in the car. You need them. Because they always have food hidden away and they can keep you alive. Well, see, men don't want to stop for food. Men don't want to stop for anything. Because men want to be able to get there, to walk in the front door and go, made it in 5 hours, 18 minutes. Three minutes faster than last year. Didn't even stop for gas. Pulled up behind a tanker truck. We hooked up with him. Had the kids pee out the window, and here we come, buddy. Like a lot of women, she takes a long time getting ready, but she's smarter than I am, so no matter how late she is, she can keep me right there on her schedule. This is her best trick right here. You're not wearing that, are you? No, I ain't wearing this. It's just what I'm wearing while you're getting ready. And being a man, we have no idea what's wrong with it. We try on everything we got. What about this? A sweater and a bathing suit. What do you think about that, huh? I got more. Hold on, I'll be back. It amazes me, as little as men know about fashion, girls, you still ask our opinion about stuff. We'll be ready to walk out the door. My wife will say something like, honey, which earrings do you like better, the white ones or the black ones? Oh, hell, I got a 50-50 shot at this. I'll say the white ones. The white ones? Now I've got to change this blouse. No! Never leaving this house. crap, I gotta shave again. When we're men, we just don't care as much about how we look. You never see a guy picking up his buddy to go fishing at 5 o'clock in the morning going, damn, Bill, you ain't gonna wear that shirt with them shoes, are you? It's after Labor Day, for crying out loud. She worries about stuff. She has things in that bathroom, the vault, I call it, because the door's always shut and whatever goes on in there costs a load of money. I snuck in one. She has things on one shelf for dry skin, oily skin, chapped skin, combination skin. Have you ever known a man with combination skin? I mean, let's say somewhere out on the construction site. Hey, Donnie! Drop the hammer! Come in a trailer. Now, Donnie, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but you have dry cheekbones and a greasy forehead. It's combination skin, Don. Well, I didn't want to say anything, but the men been laughing at you and calling you Mr. Flaky Face. Same thing with smell. She asks me every day, do I smell good? Like the way I smell? See, because if men have an odor, it's usually an accident. Charles, what is that alluring fragrance? Oh, that's Michelob. I hit a bump in a truck. Both sexes care about smell. They do, but women will go to trouble to smell good, and men are more like, hey, does this stink too bad to wear one more time? Maybe I should put it in the dryer. I think women feel a sneeze coming on. Every time before my wife sneezes, she reaches in her purse, pulls out a tissue. See, men have no idea we're going to sneeze. We could be riding a bus somewhere and be like, doo-doo-doo-doo, what? Oh, man, I'm sorry about your shirt. You put it Boy, this kind of caps off the perfect day being back here today. I had the greatest day today. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, the Victoria's Secret catalog came in the mail. A free home-delivered catalog of women in their underwear. God bless America right here. I knew it was coming, too, because the mail was about 3 hours late, you know. Have you seen this thing? Some of this stuff is so skimpy, Victoria doesn't have a whole lot of secrets left. You give a couple of guys one of these catalogs, we're fascinated. Oh, Mike, come here, look at this. That has got to hurt like hell right there. Like wearing a big string. Seems like every time you bowl, just cut you right in two, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I'd much rather look at the catalog at home than to go into the store. I mean, because if you're a guy, you do feel like a pervert when you're in the Victoria's Secret store. You feel like the girls behind the counter have the sex offender catalog and they're just trying to match your picture out.
Sally, look at the guy with the panties on his head. That is the same guy.
I learned something in the new catalog, too. Victoria's Secret makes men's underwear now. See, I didn't know that. Well, see, my only thought is, please, dear God, keep it simple. Nothing fancy, nothing like those teddies, that combination bottom and top. Can you see men dealing with this? Look, Frank, I'm not saying it ain't pretty, all right? I just wouldn't wear it fishing if I was you. I tried that last month, spent the whole day just cast and tug. Cast and tug. See, and I think my wife is as pretty as anybody in the catalog. Of course, now, she doesn't think so. You know, beautiful girl, you hear her describe herself, it sounds like bearded goat woman from hell. If she looked like that, I'd chain her up in the garage, charge $3 for people to look at her. Now stand back. This is scary stuff. I'm not kidding. That is my wife. Now give me the money. See, but she's smarter than I am because she takes so long to get ready, but no matter how late she's running, she knows how to keep me running just as late. This is her best trick right here. When she's putting on this eye stuff, I have no idea what this is, but look. You're not wearing that, are you? No, I ain't wearing this. Just what I'm wearing while you're getting ready. Well, see, being a man, we have no idea what's wrong with it. We'll try on everything we can find. What about this, baby? A sweater and a bathing suit. What do you think about that? Hold on, I got more. I'll be back. See, and you got to watch out, too, guys, because women will get rid of your clothes when you're not looking. My wife just gave my favorite shirt to the Salvation Army because she said it was out of style. Which is ridiculous because I was watching Bewitched last week and Larry Tate had on one just like that. Me. As little as men know about fashion, girls, you still ask our opinion about stuff. We'll be ready to walk out the door, and my wife say something like, honey, which earrings look better with this, the white ones or the black ones? I'm like, oh, boy, I got a 50-50 shot at this. I say the white ones. The white ones? Now I've got to change this blouse. Never leave this. Well, see, I mean, men just don't care as much. Yeah, you never see a guy picking up his buddy to go fishing at 5 o'clock in the morning going, dang, Bill, you ain't gonna wear that shirt with them shoes, are you? It's after Labor Day, for crying out loud. We don't do that. See, and I do believe the sexes are equal. I just don't think they'll ever be the same. Like, great example. Say a guy gets a phone call from a friend of his. He hadn't talked to him in a while. A man will answer the phone and say something like, hello? Wally, you ugly old bald-headed pervert. Where are you, idiot? But you never see women go, hello? Janet, you fat pig. And talking about friends, and women know this, men are like little kids. You can't let us out to play with our friends because we never come back when we're supposed to. Oh, you get 2 or more men together, we can't tell time anymore. Baby, we'll be back by 5:30, 5:45 at the latest. And then we come rolling in like February. See, men know our friends are going to get us in trouble. That's why they're our friends. I mean, you ask a female to describe a friend, you get an answer like, oh, she's the best. You need to talk to somebody. She is always there. You ask a guy to describe a friend, you're going to get something like, oh, he's a great friend. He'll come get you out of jail at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's not really true, because if he was a great friend, his butt would be in jail with you. Sitting on a cot smoking a cigarette going, she didn't look like no cop, did she? If your wife hints she might be in the mood, your kids will sense it and won't go to bed for 3 years. Talking about kids, fact of life, the more kids you have, the worse your parenting becomes. People that only have one child are making homemade baby food out of organic vegetables they're growing in their own backyard. Yeah, by the time that 4th-child rolls around, you're smoking a cigarette while you watch your toddler pull a year-old milk dud out from under the stove and eat it. Pick the cat hair off of it before you put it in your mouth. Come on. Fact of life, out of all the dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus Rex was the meanest because his arms were too short to reach his wiener. That is a medically proven fact. That will make you angry. And you'll never watch Jurassic Park the same way again. Fact of life, if you're driving down the interstate and you come up behind that old pickup truck that has like 13 wooden pallets stacked in the back and they're held together by like 2 ratty bungee cords, we all say the same prayer. Dear God, do not let those bungee cords break until I get around this guy. What happens to them, we don't really worry about, but I need to get around him. Fact of life, when your kids go off to college, you need to be concerned about the excessive drinking, the wild sex, the sleeping till noon, and you need to worry your kids might be doing the same thing. Fact of life, 100% of the black men that shave their heads look really cool. 50% of the white guys that shave their heads look like they just murdered their parents. And you're thinking of somebody right now, aren't you? Fact of life, flying on an airplane makes you gassy. Nobody ever talks about this. Nobody ever acknowledges this. We just take our little roll-around suitcase and walk to baggage claim, popping them off like a trail horse. Okay, let me tell you what makes me feel better. When I write this stuff, I don't know if it's just me or not. But when you laugh like that and start punching each other, I know there's others in the club. And I think that's why TSA is always in such a bad mood, by the way. Fact of life, if you wake yourself up with a snore, the first thing you do is look around to see who's laughing at you. Fact of life, when your wife or girlfriend gets tipsy, there is a very fine line between her talking dirty to you and sleeping like a hibernating bear. And by fine line, I mean about half a sip. You wait till we get home tonight, mister. I'm gonna tear you up. And once she crosses the line, you ain't getting her back. It's like the paramedics putting the paddle on a body with no head. You're wasting your time. Baby, wake up for like 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Fact of life, women always have more questions than men have answers to. Great example of this. 6, 7 months ago, I get a text one day. The text says, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. I walk into the kitchen where my wife is. I said, hey, I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, was he driving? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were Carol and the kids in the car with him? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were the people in the other car hurt? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. What hospital did they take him to? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, well, you don't know anything. What do you know? I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text said he was in a bad wreck. But they have a rule in my neighborhood. If you walk your dog and your dog does his business in somebody else's yard, you need to get a little plastic bag, pick it up, and dispose of it. And I know the dogs are confused. The dogs are like, wait a minute, you're taking it back home? Why did we have to walk 3 blocks? I could have pooped in the living room, saved us both some embarrassment. What a stupid rule. Why would they have us pick it up? It's fertilizer. It makes the grass grow. Lord, it's not like some child is going to step in it. A kid hadn't played in the yard since 1982. You know what's sad? We have an entire generation that has no idea how to get dog poop off the bottom of their shoe. But when I was growing up, we played in the yard every day, and every day somebody stepped in dog poop. And when it was your turn, you knew what to do about it. You would hobble over to the curb and scrape the biggest part off on the edge of the curb. Then you would find a puddle and you would swirl the bottom of your shoe around in the puddle. Then limp over to the grass and do the brush stroke back and forth. Then you would find a little bitty piece of stick and you would sit down on the curb and you would pick it out of the zigzag pattern on the bottom. Then you wore those shoes to church the next day. And nobody in that church knew you'd stepped in dog poop. See, when it comes to technology, my wife and I laugh about this because we're in our mid-50s and my wife says we are the bologna in the technology bologna sandwich. We're right in the middle because our parents can't text and our children can't write. My kids don't even think you need to study. They're like, Dad, if you want to know something, you just Google it. And to a point, they're right. I mean, when I was growing up, if you were watching TV and somebody said, what was that guy in? You'd go, well, he looks familiar. That was it. Now you're watching TV, somebody goes, what was that guy in? Somebody goes, he was the janitor on Joey. Of course he was. But I try to tell my kids, I said, yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can learn from Google. I said, but there's just as much stuff you can't learn from Google. You only learn it from life experience. You'll usually learn most of it the hard way. It's stuff that's not Googleable. I don't know if that's a word. But I call them the facts of life. It's stuff you can't Google. Like this, fact of life. If you are trying to get to the bathroom in an emergency situation, it is not a wise idea to unbutton your pants in transit trying to save a couple of seconds. Because the muscles that guard the floodgates will interpret the unbuttoning as the signal to abandon their post. And the 2 seconds you saved on the button are nullified by the hour and a half you spend mopping and doing laundry. You only learn that the hard way. Fact of life. If you are going to see a scary movie at the movie theater, it will be much more entertaining if you can find a seat directly behind a group of black women. Because not only will you get the scary movie, you will also get their running commentary of the scary movie. Oh, look at this. She running around in her panties like that. Girl, put some drawers on. And put that hair up before he snatched that weave out your head. Now, can you see this girlfriend? She going back in the house. No, she going down to the basement. Girl, get your shit and get out there now. Fact of life, women always have more questions than men have answers to. Great example of this. 6, 7 months ago, I get a text one day. The text says, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. I walk into the kitchen where my wife is. I said, hey, I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, was he driving? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were Carol and the kids in the car with him? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were the people in the other car hurt? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. What hospital did they take him to? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, well, you don't know anything. What do you know? I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text said he was in a bad wreck. That's all I got. I ain't holding anything back. That's it. People pointing at each other here. But you know who's smart? And Doc, back me up. Kids are smart. I mean, that's why the 5th graders show work. Kids today, they're so much smarter than we were. I remember my oldest daughter, when she turned 5, she wanted a computer. She's 5 years old. We get a computer. She can use it. I mean, 5 years old. Remember what we got when we turned 5? Little wooden paddle, rubber band, red ball on the end of it. That was a brain builder, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3. You'd hit it about 4 times, the rubber band would snap, the ball would fly across the room, break something, you get a spanking with the paddle. No wonder we turned out this way. It's a different age. It's like my daughters. Every toy they ever got had some tag in it showing you somebody had inspected it to make sure there was no possible way a child could hurt themselves playing with that toy. Hell, I remember being 9 years old. My parents bought me a wood-burning kit. Oh, what could possibly go wrong with a toy like that? A sharp metal stick that heated up to 5,000 degrees. And let me tell you something, our dogs and cats didn't have a little tag around their neck, but everybody in the neighborhood knew who they belonged to. Yeah, the Circle F brand, that's the Foxworthy cat right there. Right? Who had a wood-burning kit? Probably a lot of guys. Remember how long the cord was, the little curly cord? The cord was about that long. So you always guaranteed to be in right next to the drapes while you played with it. Did anybody have the swing set? My parents were too lazy to actually dig a hole in the ground, go buy a bag of concrete and pour it in. So we had a swing set. Anytime you swung above this high, the legs of it would go whoom, whoom, whoom. There were stunt men that would not swing on our swing set. And I'm pretty sure my dad had a few beers the day he put it together. Because at the top of the sliding board, there was this big bolt. And I'm sure it was supposed to have gone from the inside out. But ours went from the outside in. And every summer, every kid in the neighborhood had a pencil-thin scab from their ankle all the way up the back of their hiney. Think back to the toys, lawn darts. Lawn darts, 12-pound darts. You could kill an elk with a lawn dart. And there were no directions. They came in a box of 8. We used to pull them out of the box, throw them straight up in the air. You catch one of those with your head, you're getting coloring books for Christmas the rest of your life. And to this day, my mom gets upset if she sees me take a sip out of a beer. But when I was a child, she bought me model airplane glue by the bags full. I'm in my room trying to build models. I'm higher than AC/DC on the opening night of a new tour. Finally get the model put together, then my dad would give us firecrackers to blow them up with. And we knew they were safe because we had to drive across the state line to buy them from a man that had 3 fingers. Not on each hand, total 3 fingers. That's a good firecracker right there. You'll like that one. This guy can't operate a Bic lighter, but he's a demolitions expert.
Talking about going to family weddings. Last family wedding of hers we went to, her cousin got married in Baton Rouge, where LSU is, so we went down for that wedding and for the rehearsal dinner at Hooters. If I'm lying, I'm dying. And our waitress that night was qualified to work there. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she was on a scholarship. But the first time she walked up to the table, my wife's Uncle Don looked at her and went, "Woo! Where'd you get them things, girl?" I thought, oh, she's gonna get mad. And she didn't. She was very cool. She said, "I bought them." Well, then Don's wife, Lois, said, "You know, I've been thinking about buying me some." And Don turned to Lois and said, "You are 62 years old. You getting a boob job would be like hanging a new chandelier in a haunted house." This is the blood that flows through my children. And when we went to that wedding, we spent 5 days with my wife's mom and dad, which on life's list of fun things to do comes in right below sitting in a tub full of scissors. And everybody here has family like this. You have people in your family, you love them. You love them to death. You just don't do real well when you have to share the same house, because your lifestyles are different. And that's the case with my in-laws, because they're getting on up there. They're in their golden years. And see, I'm out late at night doing this kind of thing, and bless their heart, it's all they can do to stay awake through the Wheel of Fortune. You're at their house, you watch American Idol, you feel like a hellraiser. It's 9 o'clock, we're still up, we're crazy! But because they go to bed so early, they get up early, which is fine. If like normal human beings, they would drink coffee and read the newspaper. That's not what happens in the nut house. My father-in-law, who is retired, who has nowhere to go, gets up at 4:45 every morning of his life. He then walks into the den and starts watching the Discovery Channel at a volume normally reserved for movie theater sound commercials. So you're lying in bed, the sun has not thought about coming up. All of a sudden you hear,
like other predators of the plains, the jackal subdues its victim by clamping its neck and slowly squeezing the life from his body.
You're in the bed going, you know what, that ain't a bad idea. And it's a weird sensation to be mad and learning at the same time. Second morning we were there, I learned everything there was to know about the African willow fly before I had even peed. Do y'all know that fly only lives 28 hours? That's his entire life, 28 hours. I'm lying in the bed thinking, boy, you only live 28 hours, you can't afford to have a bad day. What happens if you get involved with a girl that wants to take it slow? Baby, we're going to be dead in 3 minutes. Spread your tiny wings and fly away. And when we're at their house, we always have to sleep on the fold-out couch. Boy, that's a good night's rest, isn't it? Get that one iron bar under your skull, one under your hip bone, and that last one under your ankles. Sleeping on that thick, thick mattress. I've eaten bologna thicker than the mattress on the fold-out couch. And boy, they keep that house a little warm. The inside of their home is about the same temperature as the bottom of a rocket when it's this high off the ground. And they walk around in sweaters. Is anybody else cold? Is it just me? Is anybody else cold? Hell, I'm naked on the tile bathroom floor, gasping for air. Well, I remember when I was in the 4th grade and the firemen visited our school, they told us that's where the last oxygen would be, right there next to the floor. I'm in the bathroom so long, my mother-in-law's beating on the door. Do you need a Correctol? You eat too much cheese. And I'm not making fun of old people. I really am not, because I think that's the goal of everybody here tonight. We all want to live long enough to someday be an old person, don't we? I not only want to be an old person someday, I want to be a burden to my children. Oh, I know the day's coming, my kids are going to be on the phone with each other going, it's your turn to take Daddy for a while. Oh, he's making those noises, he doesn't even know he does it. If you don't come get him, Carl and I are going to get a divorce. It's going to be your fault.